Are you ready to unlock the secrets of successful copywriting? If you're a beginner and you're not sure where to get started, you're in the right place. Because today, I'm going to share with you my top 10 copywriting tips that will help you build a solid foundation in your copywriting journey. Hi, I'm Jesse. I've been working as a copywriter since 2004, and these are the tips I wish I knew when I started my career 18 years ago. Our first stop on this journey is understanding the importance of research. This brings us to tip number 1, do your homework. Now, before you put pen to paper, you need to understand two crucial things: your target audience and the product or service you're going to be writing about. Let's start with your audience. Imagine trying to convince a friend to do something versus a stranger. It's always going to be easier with a friend, right? That's because you already know their likes, dislikes, and challenges. You can relate to your friend on a much deeper level. Well, the same principle applies to copywriting. You need to know your audience's demographics, interests, and pain points before you write anything. This way, you're not just throwing words into the wind, you're speaking directly to them, addressing their needs and their desires. Next, you need to research the products or services you're going to be writing about. That's because if you don't take the time to understand the business you're writing about, then you'll just be guessing and your copy is unlikely to hit the mark. So tip number 1, do your research before you write anything, and you'll have all the info you need to write persuasive copy that sells. Now that we've covered the importance of research, let's move on to tip number 2, grab attention with a killer headline. In today's fast-paced world, the average attention span is shorter than a goldfish. The best way to cut through the noise and stand out online is to write an attention-getting headline that resonates with your target audience. For example, instead of a boring headline like "new cleaning product," try something like "Clean your bathroom faster with our all-natural cleaning product." Much better, right? Now remember, 80% of people read headlines, but only 20% read the rest of the copy. So make your headline count. So don't just tell your readers what the product or service does, tell them how it improves their lives. Remember, people buy based on benefits, not features. They often buy with emotion and then justify it with logic. For example, when Apple first announced the iPod back in 2001, they didn't write that the iPod had a 5GB storage. They wrote that it had 1,000 songs in your pocket. Tip number 4, write clear and concise copy. When you're writing, remember to keep the language clear and concise. You want to avoid jargon or technical terms that might confuse your audience. Use words and phrases that your target audience can easily understand, even if it's for a sophisticated product. For example, instead of saying "our system implements algorithmic frameworks," you might write something like "our solution uses a smart system to simplify complex tasks." You can use one of my favorite free online editing tools, the Hemingway app, to check the readability of your copy and offer suggestions that will even help you simplify the language. Tip number 5 is to back up your claims with proof. Look, it's not enough to just tell your readers about your product or service. You need to show them. It's the old adage of show, don't tell, and you can do that by using evidence to back up your claims. You can provide examples, statistics, and testimonials. For instance, if you're promoting a fitness program, you could include testimonials from customers or clients who achieved significant weight loss or muscle gain as a result of using your program. Now, how do we get our readers to take action quickly? This leads us to tip number 6, create a sense of urgency. Limited time offers, scarcity, and time-sensitive discounts can all motivate your readers to take action by triggering the FOMO emotion. That's the fear of missing out. For example, get 50% off within the next 24 hours would be an example of using urgency in your copy. We've covered how to create urgency, but how do we make our copy more engaging and relatable? Well, this brings us to tip number 7, tell compelling stories. People love stories, and we've been sharing stories since the beginning of time, usually around a campfire. In fact, The most popular TED Talks all begin with the speaker sharing a personal and often emotional story from their own lives. You can engage your audience with a compelling story that makes your copy more interesting and relatable to your audience. Tip number 8 is call to action. Don't forget to tell your readers exactly what you want them to do next. And that's where your call to action comes in. When you're writing it, you want to use action verbs and create a sense of urgency. An example might be, instead of some generic CTA like click here or submit, try something more compelling like start your free trial today. This brings us to tip number 9, proofread and edit your copy. Your job isn't done just because you've written your copy. You still need to ensure that it's error-free. So use free online editing tools like my favorite, Grammarly and Quillbot, to help you spot mistakes in your copy before you send it to your client. The last thing you want to do is send them copy and to have it sent back because it's full of grammar or typo mistake. And finally, tip number 10 is always be testing. You want to revisit and optimize your copy often to see if you can increase the conversion rate and effectiveness of your copy. It's true that you could potentially double or even triple the conversion rate by simply changing the headline or using a different hook. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like more tips on becoming a successful copywriter, then check out the link in the first pinned comment below. That's because I have a free guide that covers the step-by-step process on how to become a highly paid freelance copywriter. Thanks for watching this video and look forward to seeing you in the next one.